We need honest answers only here down in the comments. But one of you, and I want you to identify who you are, one of you called it that Dennis Jensen would be the star of this season. Well played. Hello and welcome to part 144 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two Premier League games for you. Firstly, we're at home against Stoke, then away against Tottenham. Since you were last with me, we've had a really rather good run of form. 4 straight Premier League wins against Norwich, Southampton, Liverpool and West Ham. Liverpool 4-1 at home was a massive result. Hat-trick from Dennis Jensen, and Dennis Jensen is scoring goals for fun. If we just have a little look at this wonderful man, I don't understand where these goals are coming from, because as you can see the rest of his career has been pathetic. I can only assume it was largely substitute appearances on the wing, because playing up front he's got 9 goals from 10 starts in the Premier League and is a superstar. We have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup, but who cares? Because the important thing is, look at the state of the Premier League table. It's the 1st of December. I know we're only 12 games in, but we currently find ourselves 8th in the league on 21 points from the first 12 games. We're, 13 points clear of relegation, and only 2 points outside of a Champions League spot. We're not looking at the Champions League spots. What we are doing, though, is looking ahead to January. It's the 1st of December. January transfer window opens in a month. We do have a little bit of money to spend. And over the course of the next 3 or 4 games, we need to be deciding, firstly, do we need to spend any? And secondly, if we do, who do we need to spend it on? Important news, Dynamics is slowly starting to take shape after a year and a half. And we finally have a team leader again. And it's the man we always knew it would be. Oanda is our team leader, although he's not that well established within the squad, because obviously he only signed for us last January. I'm hoping once he's been here a year, in a month's time, that message will go away and he'll just become a superhero, super duper team leader like we want him to be. So the team that we're putting out there for the Stoke game is this one. Remember, we have a lot of former Stoke players in our team. They're the team that got relegated 2 years ago, and we raided them for Vujicic and who else came from Stoke? I feel like there was more than 2, but I can't remember who they are now. Oh, Nogueira, of course. He came from Stoke as well. So quite the spine of our team. We spent a lot of money on Stoke players. Nearly £60 million on Stoke players when they got relegated. We need to show that those players made the right decision coming to Nuneaton. So we're going with Vujicic in goal, a back four of Robinson, Brodic, Taggart and Carousel. Luckily, Joksimovic no longer wanted by Barcelona, so that's a good thing. We can start to integrate him back into the team again. Now his head doesn't appear to have been turned. In midfield, we've got Wanda, Fazio and Hayes, with Nuhu in behind Jensen and Kerr. I've already talked about Dennis Jensen today. Kieran Kerr is not doing too badly either. 6 goals from 11 starts, but it's very much the Dennis Jensen show going forward, and I'm hoping for more goals from both of them, from anyone. Just goals today. Let's beat Stoke. I do like to beat teams that we've raided for lots of players. They are playing the 4-2-3-1 though, which is always a tactic that we struggle a little bit against. I don't care about what Newcastle have been doing. Let's get into the game. A win today, albeit briefly, could put us into a Champions League spot in December, which bodes well for the future. I would like to think at this point, already on 21 points at this point of the season, unless we have a total collapse, we will meet our goal of this season. The goal of this season being not get involved in a relegation scrap. The board is still just looking for us to battle bravely against relegation. The media is still expecting us to finish rock bottom, but our little goal that we set ourselves was, let's not get involved in a relegation scrap this year. And by that I mean, I never really want to be looking backwards, looking down in fear. But we can't lose against Stoke. 5 minutes in, we're already losing 1-0, and we need to get ourselves back into this game. Obviously, we know we have got goals in our team now, so it's not a disaster going 1-0 down early on, as long as we continue to play as well as we've played recently. For example, against Liverpool, where we absolutely thumped them, just playing really, really good attacking football. Carousel now, forward to Kerr. Jensen and Nuhu both in the middle. It's towards Dennis Jensen, and it's straight at their keeper, who presumably their keeper is not as good as Vujicic, because no keeper is as good as Vujicic, although Oliveira has been playing very well in the Carabao Cup, apart from at Man United where he did concede 5 goals. But we'll get him in again. We'll get him in again for the FA Cup and hopefully have a little run in that as well, and he can be our cup goalkeeper this season while we decide what to do next year. Carousel now. Cross comes in. Jensen was there and fouled, I think. It is a penalty, and it's going to be Nuhu to take. With only 11 minutes on the clock, we've got a chance to draw level. It's Nuhu from the spot, And come on, Enoch, come on. It's 1-1, Nuhu with the penalty, and he looks really rather pleased about it. 5 goals already for him this season as well. He finished our top scorer last year. He's going to have his work cut out to be our top scorer again this year, not just because of competition for places from McAllister and Wagner, but also because he's got 2 actual goal-scoring strikers above him this year, which he never had last season. But 5 goals by December is still a very good return from midfield, and it's Jensen, and again, straight at their keeper. I hope his little purple patch isn't over, because I feel like he probably should have had a couple of goals now. We've had 3 clear-cut chances as a team, and 2 of them, I think, have fallen to Jensen. It's with Nuhu to Jensen again, and can't find Kerr. They were quite far apart there. You'd expect your 2 centre-forwards to be a little bit closer together than that, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. But Stoke now coming at us again. We do seem to have plenty of defenders knocking about the place, although worryingly the Stoke attackers are kind of occupying spaces between our defenders, and our defenders weren't doing anything about it, and it's now 2-1. That was really poor defending, because there were so many more blue shirts than red ones in that move. But as you can see here, the red ones are nowhere near any of the blue ones, so they've just got space to dance about as they please. I don't want to have to resort to man marking, but I really expect my defenders to be a little bit more aware of what's going around them and just pick up loose players, which I suppose is exactly what man marking is. I just don't want people being chased out of position following players, which is what usually happens with man marking. Brodic has just scored though. I feel like Brodic is starting to weigh in with quite a few goals from set pieces. It was Jensen with the flick on and Brodic with a very healthy deflection. I don't really know how that's gone down as a Brodic goal rather than an own goal, but we'll take it. And it's Fazio, and it was a weird little header, sort of vaguely forward, but not really goal bound and not really towards any of our players either. That was a weird throw from the Stoke keeper. He just kind of threw it up in the air, but Stoke are coming at us again and again because of their stupid 4-2-3-1 are finding these spaces between our defenders. And I don't care for it. There they are again. 1 striker between our 2 defenders. Right, come on now. Let's just get hold of the ball. I think our only option here is just going to be to outscore them, which is going to be difficult when they're scoring a goal every 10 minutes at the moment. It's now 3-2 to Stoke. Could we finally be on course for our first 6-6 of FM18? We had so many in FM17. We've still never had a 6-6 draw in FM18. It feels like if there's ever going to be an opportunity, it's going to be this one. I feel like he was offside there, and Vujicic, I think, is saying as much. Oliveira's sat there on the bench thinking, I might get an opportunity here. This Vujicic fella seems to be favouring his old team a little bit. He's let their striker grab a hat-trick, which is unacceptable because they're Stoke. And we took all their good players. How have they still got a striker who can score hat-tricks? Nogueira was their only good striker. We took him and he never scores any blooming goals. They must have brought that fella in. I'm not impressed. Right, I think we are going to need to make some changes fairly soon. We have got Nogueira to maybe come on and see what he can do against his old club. He might be up for it. Wanda, who is carrying a knock into this game. I don't think he's going to be able to play the full 90 minutes, but it's Nuhu finds Kerr, and that's a big miss from Kerr. And that might be one of his last kicks of the game because he's not really been with it at all today. So I think that is my cue to get Nogueira on for Kerr. And do we swap those 2 over? No, we don't. And Wanda, I think, needs to come off as well. So we're going to bring on McAllister for him and just swap this midfield around a little bit. Yeah, that's how I want it. And hopefully we can find a way back into this game. 2 early substitutions as we try and claw our way back into a game that we really should be winning. The form we've been in, we should not be losing against Stoke at home. That's just silly. But we can't find Nuhu. We have still got Wagner on the bench. We've got Lazic on the bench as well as potential game-changing players. But we just don't really seem with it going forward. We were matching them up early on and now, not so much. And they're cutting through us again. And that should have been number 4. And it's pinballing around in the penalty area. And now Brodic is just kicking Stoke players, which I can see why he feels like he has to resort to that. But let's not get a player sent off when we've still got the opportunity to at least salvage a draw from this. Carrascal heads clear, but only as far as the Stoke player on the edge of the box. And it's bouncing around in our area again. What is this bouncing around in our area nonsense that has been going on throughout this game? I don't care for it. Right, Jensen also not having a good game. We're going to bring on Lazic and swap those two over, and we'll go Lazic and Aguero and see if there's a goal in either of those. Because I like scoring goals, and this entire second half, we haven't really looked like doing it. And I find that troubling. This is what happens when I big up the strikers before the match. They always play rubbish. Why do I ever talk positively about any of my players? Nogueira, this is going to be our last attack, and it doesn't make it as far as Nuhu. Hayes, forward to Nogueira again. Cross is pathetic. And that was it now. There's seconds left, and we're not even going to have time to touch the ball again, I don't think. Stoker just... Oh, there you go. We did touch the ball again. 4 of our players have touched the ball, but we're playing it back into our own half when we're playing on absolute borrowed time. McAllister tries to find Lazic and can't find his way through the Stoke defenders, which has been the story of our day, really. We're having decent possession in midfield, as we always do, but we just can't seem to get the ball through to our strikers. We've resorted to shooting from range, and we've lost playing pretty rubbish, really. That was disappointing. And now we go away against Tottenham in one of those games where we expect to lose. Everything was going so well, and then you lot turned up and ruined it. Well, it looks like we need to integrate Joksimovic back into the team a little bit sooner than we'd hoped to, because John Robinson has got an injury where he's out for 3 to 5 months. Right, he's now down to 2 to 4 months with a dislocated shoulder, so Joksimovic is back. The other change we've had to make is another one that's forced on us. Fazio not able to play against his parent club, so McAllister comes into the midfield as the deep line playmaker, because why not? I know he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but, you know, he's got those fancy feet, and fancy feet can do deep line playmaker, I think. We did it with Wagner enough on non-league to legend last year to know that it works without any worries. Right. Mulan isn't fit and also not good enough to start. I can't imagine a situation where the likes of Mulan or even Stojanovic, who was really good for us last season, they're kind of drifting down the pecking order in midfield. And I think, getting back onto the topic of players to bring in January, obviously priority number 1 would be a defender, but I don't think we're going to find a defender. We showed that on the live transfer window that we did last week. There are no defenders that we are able to bring in. So if in light of that, another midfielder of a similar sort of standard to Wanda, Fazio, McAllister, Hayes, just one more, so that we don't have to rely on the likes of Mulan and Stojanovic, I think would be a nice addition to the squad for a January. But, you know, that being said, if a Premier League quality defender does want to emerge and decide to come and sign for us, we certainly won't turn him away. Kerr with a big miss there to try and draw us level fairly early on. Remember, this is one of those games, even though we are in a deceptively high league position at the moment, this is one of those games that we budget to lose at the start of the season. Anything we get out of this is a bonus. And even if we manage to hold it to 1-0, I would cast that as quite a good result because, you know, Tottenham are good. Pep Guardiola's their manager, apparently. And we had a war of words that I had to cool before the match. I don't remember what our war of words was about, but clearly I've had to put him in his place previously. Joksimovic is very involved early on and playing very far forward. McAllister to Hayes to Nuhu. And it's Kerr again with another big chance and he misses again. Kieran Kerr has had 2 massive opportunities to grab an equaliser in this match and has just bottled them both, and now we've given away a penalty. Oh look, we play against a good team away from home and we revert to typical Nuneaton and we start to give away penalties and we're probably going to have someone sent off, and that's just what we do when we play these big games. We just can't cope, and I'm still blaming Kieran Kerr at the moment. 2 big opportunities. And, you know, we could have been 2-1 up before that penalty even happened. And then it puts a little bit more pressure on Tottenham. Being 2-0 down after 25 minutes, though, they can just ease their way through the rest of the game now without a fear. Vujicic isn't even looking the right way. Oh, I've missed these episodes where everything was going badly. Nuhu to Jensen. Jensen through to Kerr. Oh, my word. Kieran Kerr should have had a hat-trick. Not could have had a hat-trick. He should have scored 3 goals in the first 35 minutes of this game because he has had 3 absolute sitters. Certainly the most recent 2 were absolute sitters. The first one you can maybe forgive him for a little bit, but you cannot be missing chances like that. I think it might be time for Kieran Kerr to have a few games sat on the bench because No, I'm just not allowing that. He's going to get another chance again. He's through again. It's Kerr again, and this time finally scores. There you go. The threat of having to sit on the bench has woken Kerr up, and we've created a lot in this game. We're playing very well. Our midfield again. I think we might have, at the very least, a Europa League level midfield. We just need to build the attack, and certainly Europa League level goalkeeper. Fullbacks again. I think the areas we just need better strikers and better centre backs, and then I think we're there. Our goalkeeper, fullbacks, and midfield are spot on. They play very well, but we can't miss as many chances as we've missed in that first half, because that's how we end up in pickles like this, where it's been an even game. We've played as well as Tottenham have, but a lapse of judgment at the back gives away a penalty. Lapses of judgment up front mean we're not scoring goals we should be scoring, and we find ourselves behind in a game we should at least be levelling. If not, based on the chances created, we should probably be ahead. Kerr's had so many good opportunities, and here is Kerr again to Wanda, forward to Jensen, to Wanda again. Out to Joksimovic, who's, as usual, picked up a yellow card, and that was poor. I don't really know what he was even trying to do there, and Jensen's chasing around, but is never going to get anywhere near it. We're a little bit all over the place, but Brodic does get in with another one of his crunching slide tackles. He's turning into a very good quality defender, actually. I think we perhaps just need a partner for him, because as time goes on, Brodic is getting better and better. Kerr. Can he beat his man and find Jensen, who's got space in the middle? He can. He does. Jensen scores. 55 minutes on the clock, and it's Tottenham 2, Nuneaton 2. And as the commentary at the bottom says, a sensational piece of play from Kerr. And it actually was very good, bearing in mind where he picks the ball up. He beats his man for pace, gets in a beauty of a cross, and Jensen gets there ahead of the goalkeeper and just heads into an empty net. That's more like it. This is how we've been playing on this run of games where we've actually looked like a decent team. You might actually believe me now that I didn't just Photoshop those results. Right. Oh my word. I'm still celebrating the goal, and then we have another absolute howler at the back. I don't even know who to blame for this, but any time where they're scoring into an open goal, you've got to wonder what's gone on. So cross comes in and hits the post, and Vujicic is, really it's just the defenders have got to be there before the attackers. It's not actually that bad. Would have been nice for Vujicic to get there first on the initial save so that it didn't bobble around in the area quite so much, but Brodic, after all that talk, has actually had a really poor game according to his rating. I think he always looks good. He always looks very solid. Wanda's not played very well. We're going to bring on Mulan, and we're going to bring on Nogueira, and we're going to see if that livens things up. We've got to get back into the game. We need an equaliser again now after playing so well. Oh, and that's poor again at the back, and Joksimovic terrifies me when he's on a yellow card. But Kerr gets behind his man again, and this time scores. Kieran Kerr has woken up as this game has gone on. It took him three really poor misses to figure out where the Tottenham goal is, but now he's figured it out. He's scored 2, made 1, and using his blistering pace to his advantage here. Look at the state of this. 3 Tottenham defenders just left in no man's land, and it's a beautiful finish past the Spurs keeper as well. Kerr, in this second half, is playing an absolute blinder. Right, we've got Wagner to come on. Do we bring Wagner? Do we go and try and grab a win, or do we bring Dos Santos on at the back? In fact, there you go, Joksimovic is injured. That makes my mind up. We take Joksimovic off. And both Dos Santos and Kulikov can play left back. Kulikov, I think I'll put out there. We played Kulikov at left back in the Carabao Cup, whereas Dos Santos, although in theory you can play there, and we've never actually seen him play there yet. So Kulikov feels like the safer option to go out there. Nuhu heads down towards Kerr, but he can't get there this time. More crunching tackles in midfield, this time from flair player McAllister. Taggart plays forward to Hayes, and it's Kerr again, finds Nuhu. We have got men in space, but we can't find them. With 7 minutes to go, this could be anybody's game. I suspect it will probably be Tottenham's, but I like the fact it could still be anybody's. We're actually showing that we're not completely useless, although Vujicic doing his best to suggest that he might be there. And once again, Oliveira just glances over at me, sat a little bit further down the bench from him, and just gives me a little bit of a glare. I wouldn't have done that, boss. Yes, whatever. Well, you'll get your time. He's glancing again, flapping his arms around now, boss. Soon, Oliveira, your time will come. I don't know his first name. What's Oliveira's first name? That's why I'm not picking him. I don't know his name yet. I've never spoken to the man. Hayes tries to find Kerr, but it's very, very wayward. And it's with Tommy Taggart with 10 seconds left on the clock, and it's back to Vujicic, who panics and hits it forward to Hayes, but it's with McAllister. I mean, potentially, we've got one more opportunity, and yes, we don't. It ends 3-3. 3-3 is a good result. I would absolutely take that at the start of the season. It was encouraging to see that once Kerr woke up, he did actually terrify Champions League defences in that second half. It's just a shame he wasn't playing like that in the first half, because if he was, we'd have won that match. But we do end the episode. Where are we? Still in the top half of the table, 9th place, 14 games in, 22 points on the clock. That'll do for this stage of the season. We absolutely take that at the start of the year. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.